Good. Yeah, let me do my video. I hope I don't have eye bags and things from waking up. I just woke up and haven't done it. Did I do it public? I'm already seeing one. Okay, we're a bit late, but yeah. So I'm also going to be needing today is a bit more. This session, this first part of the session is a lot active. So I'll be needing your confirmations. Sorry, my laptop, I've just put it on charge and then it has decided to go hibernate on me. But I think we can start. First of all, I'd like you to, first of all, do this. Kindly, first of all, ensure that you rename yourself to your first and second name. Okay. Is it usually first and second name, first part and second part of your name? That so that it makes it easier for me to relate who is here and also who is going to be onboarded onto the session. So if you can just tap on your name and rename. For example, I can see the ones who are already on it well is Alvin Osao, Christopher Lechuta, and Oliver Cheriot. So yeah, please, John, Milgo, William, HMD, Global Nokia G20. Kindly ensure that you put your name well. It is going to really be helpful. So again, you'll allow me to to stop some videos. Good. Then we can get on with this. So my laptop is already booting up after deciding to have its own mind to hibernate. So good. Yep. I hope your Saturday is standing out. Okay. Yeah, I hope your Saturday is turning out fine. Let me see now whether I can get back to this. And I can check my other camera link. Good. I really hope I don't look weird. I usually make sure I test how I look before I go live on video. Too bad. That light is too much for me. Makes me look too white. Good. So I think you can now see me and we can get on with this. So I'll start on a new tab on Chrome. So first of all, I think we need to have what can I say? We need to have like a WhatsApp group of sorts. So I think I can create one first of all with Christopher. Then we can and I think we can now what? Somebody is asking about the meeting. I don't know. Oh, yeah, it was really sorry. I think we are now started. So, let me create the group, then I share the link. Kindly don't reshare the link to someone else because it's going to make life hard for some of us. So this is how your login will be looking at. You're going to be logging in using this part written student login. There's also another part written educator login, which is the part I will be logging in from. So, but still the interface is going to be looking a bit similar. So the link to login is this one. So for those who are going to be following me practically, once I onboard you, you're going to click that link and you're going to put your logins into there. So I think this one is cohort 3. So this is the third cohort. Done this before, but the some of us who are joining in to do cloud architecting, some of you I think have joined in to do what? To do cloud foundations, which is quite fine. I saw a number of you in the waiting room, and I decided, okay, let's join in and have this onboarding session together. So although I'll still do it also for those who are going to join a bit later, like in an hour or so. So where are we? I think I've created the group. Let me invite you via the link. So for those on phone, it is easier for you. So that's the WhatsApp group we are going to be using for updates. So yeah, good. I think the group is done. So remember, you'll be logging in from here. Don't worry about the Japanese and the Chinese. It's just to ensure that everyone knows what is here, and whatever is in English is also repeated here in Japanese and also in Chinese, because the AWS Academy is a global platform. So let me log in. So we're going to be running, I'll be running 2 courses, which is very important for you to know the number. There's this Cloud Foundations 30409. This is the one that for all doing the cloud foundations are going to be doing that one. Then for those who are going to be doing cloud architecting, I'm going to be running these class. Later on during the classes, much later on is when I think I'll introduce the Learner Lab. And I think the Learner Lab is going to be I'll check the one that is going to last us. I have a number of them running here.
and I'll see which ones then I'll explain what Learner Lab is all about after we've done a bit of sessions. So this is the platform, this is the learning management system. Don't worry if you see these many courses, you're not going to be having this. Personally, I have this because I have cohorts that I've ever run. I also have educator classes. For example, anytime I want to do before I run a new class, I'll have to go through the educator version of the class so that I'm familiar with it. So that is why you're seeing all these, but yours might be around, I think, 1 and 2, something of that sort. So how will it look like? For example, let's start with cloud foundations. So for those doing cloud foundations, I would like you to, okay, so let me just give you an overview. So let me just go to the student view. So this is how once you click on your course, it will look like. It will have this side panel where you have home, announcements, module, discussions, and also grades. So anytime you want to see the course content, mostly you should find it here. I would rarely be using the announcements from this part. I'll be using maybe the WhatsApp group. And also some of the discussions are also going to run on the WhatsApp group because of the instantaneous nature of WhatsApp, which is quite convenient. Then there's this middle part, which you're going to be finding most of the time before you access the content. You can still access the same modules and discussions from here, modules or discussions. So you can either decide to open it from here or from here. There's no difference. Then there's course support, mostly if you have a technical AWS Academy issue, but most of the time I'll be giving you most of the support you need. So again, remember that Cloud Foundations is aligned to the AWS CCP exam, that is the Certified Cloud Practitioner. And then you can get some of the certification resources and more details about the exam right from here. But that one can come later because currently it's important for you just to ensure that you go through the modules. So you'll click on the modules. For example, I've clicked on the modules. So anytime you see anything that you need to do or something that you've done, you can be able to see it from here. I'll show it to you from a course that I've ever done. So there's going to be a pre-course survey. So all these are introductory parts. There's going to be a pre-course survey. We are going to fill a certain survey. You're going to go through a course introduction video, a student guide, how do you complete lab exercises, course support, and the general discussion. So I think the pre-course survey is required. So for example, if I click on the pre-course survey, there's a number of questions that I'll be able to answer. So for example, if I decide just to take the 7 questions, say take the survey, select the reasons why you choose to enroll in this course. So this one is for AWS Academy to analyze, not me. So for example, I can say I want to do the course to engage in lifelong learning, to advance my career, and maybe to advance my formal education. Obviously, we don't want it for all of them, but depends. You don't have to answer how I've answered. It's personal to you. So you decide how familiar are you with cloud technology? I'm extremely familiar. I'm somewhat familiar. I'm not familiar. So you be honest with this. For example, I can just say, maybe I am not familiar with the technology because this is a foundations course. How familiar are you with AWS, Amazon Web Services? I'm somewhat familiar. I'm not familiar. You can decide. For example, I can just say, at least I know something about it. But this is not how I am currently. I'm just answering for the pre-course. How much of the course do you plan to complete? All of the course, some of the course, I'm not sure. I do not plan. So how can you attend a course where you do not plan to complete the whole course? So I'd advise you to be having an intention to complete the whole of the course. All of the course. So what level of cloud computing knowledge and skills do you expect from this course? Beginning, intermediate, advanced? So these are foundations course. I would say I'm expecting a beginning. But you don't, if you expect advanced things, just say you want to expect advanced things. How likely are you to sign up for an AWS certification testing following this course? I'm likely to sign up. So there's a cohort which we ran, and still also AWS had a Sub-Saharan Africa challenge to get certified, where they're giving, I think, 4,500 vouchers for the whole of Africa. And I think some of you took part in it. I think it was, I saw, is it Willie? Willie, are you here? I think you took advantage of that. And I think after the course you did the course, right, William? I think you did it, right? And you passed the CCP. Yes, good. You got the voucher, and also you also did the certification. That's nice. So next, out of that, so is there anything else you'd like to know? This is optional if you want to put all your ideas, but I don't know how much of an idea you'd have yet you're starting. But yeah, so then you submit the quiz. So we can say, okay, then you're done with that. So you can see this quiz is no longer available as the course has been concluded. I don't know, has the course been concluded? Oh, this one is 2850. I think I chose the wrong one. I saw yours should be 3409. It's very important. I think I missed it. I chose the wrong one. But I don't know if I'll be able to see it on Student View. Yeah, that is why. Let me just do the Student View. Then I go to this course, but I think you've gotten the gist of how you do the survey. So that is all I wanted to show you. So I think the moment I go Student View on this, I'm not going to get it. I don't know. I've gotten it. So yeah, so this is your course 3409. So after you do the pre-course survey, you're going to go through a course introduction video. I don't know whether it's going to allow me to look at it before I do the pre-course survey. But kindly note that the videos as well as the knowledge checks are the things that you're not going to be doing live in class. You do it at your own time. That is why within the points to note for your calendar, I said it's very important you can dedicate 4 to 6. I think it's 6 to 8 hours in a week. And right about that, it also includes these. It also includes this morning session that we're going to be having. So if you look at this,
AWS Academy Cloud Foundations. This is Jorge Negron, technical.
So okay, let me just see whether I can reshare using my audio so that I can show you how it looks like. Let me stop my share. Then I share again and I share my sound. Okay. So this is how you're going to be watching the videos.
Welcome to AWS Academy Cloud Foundations. This is Jorge Negron, Technical Program Manager with the AWS Academy program. I have here my two colleagues today.
Hello, my name is Chris Jones and I'm a Technical Program Manager with AWS Academy.
And I'm Matt Heffernan. I'm a Technical Program Manager for Curriculum Development for academic courses. This is our new and updated AWS Academy Cloud Foundations course. We have looked at AWS Academy educators and students' feedback for this latest version of our foundational course and have made technical updates, putting a lot of thought into how we can best teach you this foundational course on cloud computing.
After completing this course, you should be able to recognize the purpose of the AWS services and how you can apply these learnings to prepare.
So yeah, that is what you need to be doing. You'll be looking through the videos, understanding what the TPMs say, the technical program managers, and understanding more about the theoretical concepts of things. So during the live sessions, when I go back to modules, again, the other disclaimer is the content within the AWS Academy is not to be reshared, or maybe you're not supposed to record yourself doing them and posting them on YouTube or something. So kindly note that about the agreement, because it's not publicly available. If they wanted it to be publicly available, I think they would have done that a long time ago. So yeah, so that means that you're in it because I've decided to to allow you to do the course as part of the AWS Academy that I run. So yeah, so these are the 10 modules. You can see all of them. Kindly note there's something about it. For example, I can see module 1 doesn't have any lab activity. Module 2, I can see also it is all about cloud economics and billing, but there's a bit of an activity here. We are going to get a console demonstration on how the billing dashboard looks like, but still not much of a practical, it's a demo. I think module 3, remember this is version 2 of the Cloud Foundations. I don't know whether when we are doing it in cohort 1 and 2, we are doing version 1, but this is an updated version of this. That's the good thing about the curriculum. The curriculum in most of these industry-related courses are usually updated as and when there is a need immediately. It's not like university curriculum where you have to wait for every 4 years and all those kind of things. So yeah, so you can see module 4, it has AWS cloud security, and you can see it's all about this console demonstration of IAM, identity and access management. And also now our first lab is here, introduction to AWS IAM. So this is the lab that I'll do, I think, at around 9 or so. I think once we have the Cloud Foundations session on. Yep, but I'll go through the cloud architecting and do a bit of, I think, a demo there so that I'll be able to have run. So you can see, you'll always see labs having with that, it starts with the lab, then the lab number, then the topic of that lab. So for example, you can see lab 2, build your VPC and launch a web server. You can see lab 3 is introduction to Amazon EC2. Does module 7 have a lab? Yes, lab 4, working with elastic block storage. Then we have module 8, has a lab 5, build a database server. Module 9, module 9, I think doesn't have one. That's all about cloud architecture, about the AWS well-architected framework. And these are very important pillars of the AWS well-architected framework. Very important to know how they really work. So then we have now module 10, where you're going to do, I think, a final lab on scaling and auto-scaling and load balancing. So yeah, so I think that is how the labs are. These are sandbox environment. And then there's some of the certifications. Then there's the AWS Educate job board, some practice questions that you can do on AWS Skill Builder. Then remember, for you to get your badge, and I think I don't really get a completion certificate, but I'm sure of the badge that you can share on LinkedIn. You need to have already completed all the modules as well as the knowledge checks. You can see each and every module has a knowledge check, which you need to at least score 70%. There are not too many questions. I think some run between 10 to 15 questions, which cover the exact content for that module. So that is something to note. So I would advise you go through it chronologically. Don't jump to module 10 before you've done module 1 and 2 and everything. Just go through it. And remember, once you get access, you're not going to get access to just one module. You're going to get access to all the 10 modules. So it's all about your pace. But remember, during the live sessions, starting today, we're going to be running at least, how many labs are there? Let's see the final labs. There are 6 labs, right? So it means that we might be doing 1 lab per week. Then I think maybe at some point within the course, you're going to do 2 labs, so that, because remember, you only have five weekends. There's a cohort which we did, I think we usually had a Wednesday and I think a Saturday, but this cohort offering only has a Saturday live session. So yeah. So it's important. Then again, kindly be coming with your questions for a certain module. For example, when we meet next week, I'll be receiving questions on module 1 and module 2, and even module 3. So if you have any questions on module 1, 2, and 3, if you want, you can ask. I'll be doing only the labs, right? The labs for the live sessions. Kindly note that that is what we'll be doing in the live sessions. The practical, how do you run it, and trying to explain really what is going on when you're doing the labs. Because if you do the labs by your own, it might seem so daunting to do it. Okay, so let me show you how the lab really runs. So for example, if I click on this, remember I'm on student view. This pink shows that I'm just on it as a student. So let's look at it. So if you have also questions, you can put them on the chat, or you can even unmute it. I don't think I've restricted anyone from unmuting and asking a question. So you can always be asking for this. Then I'll do one lab for this session. I think I'll do the cloud architecting lab, not a cloud foundations lab. As you had noted in the calendar, don't know whether you saw the calendar notes, points to note. It was not on this calendar, okay. It is in my other calendar. So we look at this. You know, it's appearing like that. But if you see, like, first of the thing is punctuality is key. Kindly ensure that. Sorry, today we started a bit late, like 10 minutes late. But always join the session at least 15 minutes before. The cloud architecting will be running from 7:30 to 9. Then there's going to be a 30-minute break for just some of us, like myself, to just have a breather. Then, but still that means that you can, anyone joining the Cloud Foundations can start logging in from 9:15, just to ensure that we start, and any housekeeping, you can be having that when you run. And that is why you can see the session is running as much as the calendar is showing 7 to 12. Remember when you're doing your cloud training, you're free to join, you're not limited to join any of the sessions. You're not limited to joining the cloud architecting. But again, remember, where you are limited is in the portal, because I can't enroll you to cloud architecting if you haven't done cloud foundations with me. To be specific, I'm not sure whether you've done it with another AWS Academy, or you might be having the CCP certification. If you have that, I can still accept that you're good enough to do the cloud architecting course. So if you have the AWS Cloud Practitioner certification, you can go directly to cloud architecting without worrying about this. But if you don't have the certification and you haven't done this training, that is where you start from, because they build on each other. Then again, these will be, the onboarding is what I'll do right now. Then course completion is not optional. Kindly note that. Then the sessions are not shareable. You cannot invite others to come and join the cohort once it has already started, which it has already started today. But I'll still have a leeway for those who will watch the video and the YouTube and maybe say there's something that only for today's session, but later on, just to ensure that I have control over the class and I know who is there and who is not there, rather than having the course looking confused for the rest of the cohort. Then also remember, you're required to adhere to AWS code of conduct. Don't try to replicate the course content elsewhere for you to retrain elsewhere. Remember that there's a rigorous process for you to become an AWS Academy educator. So I wouldn't want to be in hot soup for somebody reposting AWS Academy content somewhere. I realize even my YouTube channel is not the one that I tell you come subscribe. It's just for recording purposes. I don't promote the content that I put there unless it's a webinar or an interview with somebody. So then also this issue about misuse of AWS resources. This will come up, especially when you're doing your Learner Lab. When I give you the access to the Learner Lab, so you're not supposed to use the resources to start hosting your own personal website, or maybe to spin up instances that will be detrimental to the AWS services to other users. You'll be blocked, and it is going to be bad for you, because once you're blocked for quite a while. So I think those are the points to note. Those are some of the points to note. And it's great for your learning, so it's going to be good. So yeah. So that is it with that calendar. So I hope you saw that. These are the sessions. Kindly, you don't have to come early in the morning if you are going to be doing the Cloud Foundations. But I understood some of you joined us because maybe you might have not seen this schedule. I think maybe I'll for purposes, I'll maybe just bold it. But I think I'll save it. All the events. So remember that it's going to be running every Saturday for the next 5 Saturdays up until I think 26th of November. Yes, which is going to be the final session. Okay. I think that is my calendar. So this is how the lab didn't load. Let me see. Let me refresh. Okay, before I do, okay, I'll do the lab, then I'll onboard you, because if I onboard you right now, you're going to stop looking at, you'll start trying to discover the course. Or remember, you need to agree to these terms and conditions from Vocarium. Vocarium is the provider for the practical hands-on labs. So I would advise you to, if you can, kindly read through this, especially the part of which part? Let me see. Usually this part. Yeah, general prohibitions. You agree not to do any of the following. You can see, especially this part. Use, display, or mirror or frame the services of or any individual within the services of Vocarium's names or any layout contained without Vocarium's express written consent. So you cannot do that. So you are responsible. Also not put any user content there, and yeah, you can just read. I know some of you never read it, you just agree, which is quite fine. As long as you'll be responsible for that clicking on the agree. So let's get on to it. Okay, am I on? Okay, I'm not. I should not do a CF lab, a cloud. When you hear me say CF, I'm talking about Cloud Foundations. When you hear me say CA, I mean cloud architecting, so that I don't have to. So this is how the platform looks. Let me just show you. So there's this part where you have the steps, the step-by-step of what you need to do and what you need to click. And once you complete, you get this good congratulations message that you've completed. There's also this part, these are like a terminal of sorts. Sometimes you would want to run things on console, I mean on an AWS console. So this gives you that ability. So you can maybe, for example, if I have the AWS details, okay, I have not started the lab. So I'll need to click on start lab. Then I'll wait for a message to come up that the resources have been provisioned. But again, I've said I'm not doing this lab on CF. I'm going to do a lab in CA. So, but this is how the way it looks like. So once you click on start lab and the resources have been provisioned, you're going to see a timer. Then you can click on this part. You are going to access the console. Under actions, I don't think there's much you can do there. Instructions is this. This is just a repetition. I think this is in this lab, you're going to can see it tells you the amount of time it can take you to complete it. Yeah, so let me just get out of this. And okay, let me just onboard some people onto it before I get out of it. So let me leave the student view. So kindly post your, if you're doing Cloud Foundations, post your email on the chat. Then I will add you. Kindly post that. Is there anyone doing CF, Cloud Foundations here? I think there are some, because there are some who have not. Yes, Chris, you can remind me your email. I think it's, I don't want to go to the calendar and search for them. Yours is, I think, Christopher Lechuta.
Yes, it's Christopher Lechuta@gmail.com.
At Gmail, right? Good. Then I think the next one, do I usually put a comma or I go enter? I don't. Let me just put a comma and do enter just to be precise. I am seeing another one. Okay, you can see all the emails are coming through here. Yeah, so I wanted to do this during the week, but then I realized I might add people who are not going to ever come for the live session. So I decided, okay, let's do it today, so that the only people who are going in are people who can really dedicate their time. You know, Saturdays are crazy, and I don't want to sacrifice my Saturday for people who are not going to be coming through. Yeah, so considering I'm not running a paid, this cohort, Christopher can tell you, people pay for it. I think the last cohort paid for it. It's just that this time I've been philanthropic enough. But if you're doing Cloud Foundations, don't be surprised if you're going to be doing cloud architecting as a paid. But I'm not talking about payments right now. I'm going to talk about the amount, but usually a commitment fee. It's not even paying me, because if you're supposed to pay for the course, it can be quite pricey. But I'm running a free cohort because I just want to see whether people are committed. The commitment fee is just to ensure that we are all appreciating each other's time, and obviously to help administrate the course. So I think I've added everyone who has given it. Is there anyone? Please don't come with your email later on and say, can you go back to the Cloud Foundations and add me there? If you do that, I realize that you came here, joined, and you put yourself on mute, and then you went on to do your other things, which is quite disrespectful. So I think I can leave it at that for this part. I'm sure there are others who are going to be joining at the top of the hour, who are going to be onboarded. I think I haven't put a comma here. I haven't put a comma. Okay, do I have to? I'm not really sure, because it's been quite a while since I did this. Let me see. Okay, so need to add a name. That is why I was asking people to put their full names on. Maybe for those who have given me their emails, can you give me your what? You can see, I think Tamanu Papa is John Maura. So can you give me your full name so that I can ensure I put it here. Let me just make sure this chat of mine is elongated. I'm having a stressful time to just look at it. I think Chris, yours is not in the list because you're there. So yeah, FK Milgo was Festus. Alvin, I think Alvin Osao is fine. Samiki prop. The last one. Jennifer, maybe you can give me your second name. Or second part of your name. I don't know how it usually goes. I think it's okay. It's in the email. I think it's the email. Let me just pick it up from there. Hope I'm correct in that. I think I can go on with that. So I'm adding 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 people currently. So you'll get an email, then you'll confirm. And I think, yeah. So let's go to CA. So for those doing CA, I don't think you really need an orientation on how the platform works, because you must have already done the CF. So I'm not going to, but I'm just going to tell you what. So you can see this course really helps you to prepare for the SAA exam, Solutions Architect. I just got an email that that AWS Academy has updated this course to reflect the new. You already know that the Solutions Architect exam was updated in August 2022, which was, I think, some few months back. Okay, it's not AWS Academy, AWS SAA. I think it's C03 exam. So I think it's on its third version. So yes, here it is. So you can see it's a 130-minute exam, and you can see it's a bit more expensive than the CCP. And you can see the last time you're going to be doing the exam through PSI. PSI is usually quite, you can see it's quite good. I don't know whether we have Pearson View online in Kenya. So this is usually the link for those who are doing the CA. But still, it doesn't mean that if you're doing CF, you cannot go on and attempt the CC. I mean, if you're doing CF, it doesn't mean that you can't come and attempt the SAA. So if you look at, if I download the exam guide, you can see it is now, you can see it is CO03. It means that there was a 101, a 02, and currently now we are at 03. So you can always come here, download the exam guide, see the exam questions. It's usually one of the most sought after certifications in AWS as a starter, together with CCP, obviously. So you can see it consists of 4 domains, percentage of that domain of the exam having that domain. So it's mostly about how do you come up with architectures. CCP exam is usually all about how much of the AWS services do you understand. But when you get to SAA, it's all about the architectures. That is why you can see, I think every part it has in architectures. How do you design secure, resilient, high performing, and also cost optimized? And if you look at these, they are part of the pillars of the AWS well-architected framework. Yep. So I think it's very important to download that for future access. Good. Yeah, so let's go to the CA. I'll go to the modules. So the course itself is aligned towards, if you do the course and you complete it well, it's going to really be helpful when you're doing the essay exam. I'll also be having more materials that I can share. If you can access, there's also Cloud Academy. They usually give you a very good exam practice exam, a practice exam or a mock exam, if I can call it. So this one is more, it has many more modules. So be up for a ride, because remember, William, I think, who else is doing CA? I saw William here. I think I saw Oliver. Who else are doing C? You can post your email on the chat so that I know, so that I onboard you. So you can see it has how many modules? 15 modules. Okay. There's also a capstone project. It's quite, I went through it and it was a rigorous one. It was a rigorous course. And you're doing it on a case-based scenario. So there's a guided lab. You can see there's a guided lab, there's a challenge lab. Every course, every module, there's a guided lab, there's a challenge lab, a guided lab, a challenge lab. So you are doing a lot more practicals here. So I'll be doing obviously the guided lab, and I'll be expecting that I'll be looking at the results for your challenge labs as you do it. So let's do, I can see I don't have much time, but I'll go through this quite fast. For the CF, don't worry, I'm not going to be going this fast with regards to doing the labs because I believe you're starting out, and some of you might not be well familiar. Okay, I've gone through the wrong part. Okay, this is the instructor view of the lab. I can be able to just see how things look like. Just go to the student view. So also this one has knowledge checks, CA. So it's important that you also do that. Okay, before I do the lab, I think it's better I onboard people. So as I said, you need to have already done my CF, or you are a certified cloud practitioner. I don't know whether I'll find. Will I use email addresses? William, is it Willie Gishohi M? I think I know your email. Is it like that? You can tell me whether I've made a mistake. Then Oliver can tell me. Yes, I think I'm correct. Then Oliver, very fast. Thank you. Who else was doing CA? Who is here? Who else was doing CA? Okay. I think maybe I'll find them as we move on. But let's move on here. So I think I'm not going to be having an issue. I think I only need. So Oliver, have you done CF? Or what is your qualification to do CA? Maybe you can tell us on the chat, or maybe you can unmute, because I can see I'm not seeing you on the system. You can see I have to add you manually. So you can tell me before I add you. And if you don't tell me, I take you to CF. Oliver, are you like, do you have CCP, or have you, what qualifies you to do CA?
Hello, Kevin. Yes,
Hello,
yes, I have a CCP certification.
Oh, good, good. That's fine. You know, in AWS, you don't mistrust each other, so I'll not require you to show me that certification, but I believe you are. I think your name is quite familiar in the AWS circles, according to how I feel. I have a feel of it. So good. So that is nice. So I think you should have already received an email. Once you accept, I'll no longer see this pending. So I think that is fine. Let me go to the modules very fast. I can see my time is really flying. And I wanted to also have that much needed break at 9 or 9:15 there. So let's go to the lab. Let's go. So remember that for cloud architecting, you're going to go through a business case. So you can see there's an introduction to a cafe business case. You're going to go through, and I think you're going to build up on that case as you move on. And it's going to be really about the architecture and how do you come up with a very good architecture. It's no longer about knowing about the services. It's also more aligned towards how do you bring the services together in a way that it is secure, it is reliable, it is high performing, and it is cost effective. So it's very, very, very important to have that in mind. So let's go to which is the lab, which is the first lab. Let's see. The first lab. Yeah, this one, hosting a static website. So this one is very good. Even if you are doing CF, I think you're going to be doing such a lab somewhere. So this is the guided lab. Then there's a challenge lab, create a static website for the cafe. Remember, you're going to be working through the business case for this cafe business case introduction. So let me mute a bit. I get to hear something here. Yeah, sorry about that. I was following up. I'm just told breakfast is ready, so my mind is already half here. So yeah, so where are we? I know some of you have also not taken breakfast, so it's very important. Sorry about that. Let me stop the recording. Sorry. I was admitting someone and I think I clicked that. Okay, so here we are, student view. Don't worry, you don't have to click that. You're not going to see that because you're not an educator. So you're going to just go directly here and you get this part. So remember that what do you need to do? You need to start the lab. Then you wait, you're going to wait for this to provision. So what is happening here, when you click on start lab, AWS starts to create security groups, to create IAM roles, to maybe even provision buckets, and all those things that, all the resources that are required for you to successfully complete the lab. So it will do that automatically. Then once it is done, it's going to change here from ready. So you can wait in this space, but personally, since I'm tracking you through this, I'll not be waiting here. I'll close this and I'll know when it is ready because I'll see a timer. I'll see a timer will appear somewhere here, and this one will disappear. So let me just, as that happens, let me remove the terminal because I don't need it. Let me take you through it. So you can see, I believe all of you all understand about what a static website is all about. It's usually about fixed content, no backend processing that is happening. It can be really about the HTML, the CSS. Yes, I can see Kiprop you're saying. I've just heard you saying qualification to this is when you have a certification. What about if it is your first meeting? So that one is for CA. There are two courses being run right now. We are having the cloud foundations as well as the cloud architecting. For cloud architecting, I'm not just enrolling anyone and everyone. I'm enrolling those either with a CCP certification or they have already done the cloud foundations course with me, or maybe in any other way, maybe on Skill Builder or whichever way, but they've already completed cloud foundation level training. Then for cloud foundations, it doesn't require you to have a certification. I don't require you to have any knowledge of the cloud. I don't require you. The only thing that is required is for you to be ready to spend your time dedicate those hours over the week so that you can finish in time. And also what I also require from you is to be attending the live sessions to go through the practicals and also just be active. That's the only thing I require. I hope that makes it clear for you, Sammy. So for those who are not onboarded on Cloud Foundations, I'm still going to do that in the second session. We're going to go through, and I'm still going to repeat a bit on what I've just said. But from next week, I'll be expecting that in the morning, I'm only with the cloud architecting guys. There in the early morning, that is from around 7:30 to 9:30. I'll be with cloud architecting. Then from 9:30 up until 11:30, I'll be with the Cloud Foundations guys alone. So that will make my life easier. So, but still, if you're interested to see what happens in cloud architecting, no one is going to refuse you the opportunity to come and just check it out. It might make you appreciate your Cloud Foundations and make you feel that it is not as hard. Okay. Oh, and I think I know it's pretty much late to say this. I forgot to introduce myself. My name is Kevin Tui. I'm an AWS Academy educator. I'm also an AWS community builder. You can see that here. I'm also CCP certified. I've done CCP. I'm also about to do my SAA. And also want to do the dev associate as well as the SAP and the cloud security specialty. Those are some of the certifications I just want to do. Don't want to do all of them. I just want to do very specific on my line of training and my line of interest. Then what else? I think I'm a cloud enthusiast. I'm a security enthusiast. I also lecture computer science. I'm an Atlassian community leader. For the Meru chapter. Yeah, and all the other things you can find on my LinkedIn. The ones that I forgot, the Tripolis and everything, and the Isaka. You can find them there. So yeah, so you can connect on LinkedIn. And also when you connect on LinkedIn, kindly make sure you have at least a complete profile. I rarely accept people who don't have profile pics and they have nothing on their LinkedIn profiles, because it means that I support anonymity in LinkedIn, which I don't support. So, and also, if possible, you can tell me I'm in your AWS Academy class, and yeah, so I'll be able to know, oh, so you're in the class together or something. So let's go through this. You can see this lab will only require 20 minutes for us to complete, which is a very nice thing for me. So I already clicked on start lab. Do you see something here? My timer is been reducing. I'm only given 2 hours to access the lab, but later on, once I've gotten the people who are dedicated, I'll give them access to the Learner Lab, which gives you a bit of persistent access, and as well as double the hours when you're doing your Learner Lab, which is 4 hours. So, and also a budget of $100 on your AWS access. But that I'll do later. I'll not do it right now. So you can see, so it's what we'll be able to do. We'll be able to create a bucket, upload content to the bucket, enable access to the bucket objects, and then update the website. That's basically what we're going to do. Now the restrictions, remember that this is a lab environment, so some services, you might see some errors. That's normal, because some services have been restricted so that you can't access them. So you can see this is how they give you a step-by-step on how you access the console. So you click on start lab, which you've already done. Wait until the start lab. After the top, you click on AWS. So I'll click on that. I really hope, yeah, it opens in a new tab. So once it opens in a new tab, I'll show you how you arrange it. So usually arrange the AWS console so that it displays alongside the instructions, so that you have the so that you can follow the steps easily. Always remember that you need to do not change the region unless you're told. So I think most of the time it's usually in US East 1. So you can see what you're going to see that. So you can see we are being told, so let me arrange, this is how you arrange the labs. You arrange okay, will it appear on mine? Okay, let me arrange it like this. Then I put this. So you can see this is my console. This is how the AWS management console looks like. It usually has this services part, the AWS logo. You can search for services here. There's this part which shows you which region you are in. So don't change the region to somewhere else in the world. And because this is a lab, you need to do only it within where the resources have been provisioned. Because if you change to another region, resources have not been provisioned there. So US East 1 is usually the most prominent when you're doing the Academy Learner Labs. So you also have your account ID, which is provisioned. For example, you can see mine is given, you're going to see your name. Mine is written test student because I'm on student view. Yeah, so, and this is where you can see your account, organization, the billing dashboard, the settings. You can, there's a time when you can do a lab where you need to switch roles. You can do it from here, and you can even sign out to access another account from there. And you can even register for your own AWS account and register for it and start using the free tier. So what is here? I find it weird. I don't know how to see the instructions on this side, but let me see how I can survive. Let me see, can I do this? Yes. And then I take this to this side. I think it's much easier when I do it that way. Yeah, good. So let's do this very fast. I'm expecting I'm going to finish this in 20 minutes. So I can see in the AWS management, click on the services. I'll click on the services, and then I'll choose S3. I can see it is under recently visited, but it is much easier when you just search for it. Like that. Then I'll choose on it. So S3 stands for Secure Storage Service, if I'm not wrong. And it's when talking about a bucket. So you can see these lab imagines that we've already gone through the module, and you've learned about what S3 is all about. So what S3 is all about is it's a storage service. So there are many domains in cloud. For example, there's the storage, there's the compute, there's the networking, there's the database part of things. So S3 falls under storage, and it can be used to store content. Content is usually in form of objects, and you're going to see how you're going to run through these. So most of the time when you're creating a static website on AWS, the best case scenario and the best use case scenario is using the AWS S3 service for that. So you can see this is, I'll create a bucket. Remember, another thing about creating a bucket, the name has to be unique across the whole of AWS, whether within the lab or even globally. So you can see the bucket name is globally unique. That is something you need to know. And also the name cannot be used in any other account or in any AWS region unless you delete the bucket. So the only way you'll be able to reuse the name elsewhere is when you delete. So you can see most of the time bucket name, I write website hyphen and a number. So website hyphen. So me personally, I know me is a Kenyan thing. So personally, when I actually try to ensure that it is unique to avoid any issues, I usually just come here. I know my account ID is unique. I'll copy it. I'll copy the account ID and paste it there. So you can see, I'm sure that is going to be unique. So what next? Public access to buckets is blocked by default because files in the static will need to be accessible. And because the files on the static website need to be accessible, you must permit. So I'll verify that the region is set to US East 1. I can see this is under global, but I'll check. I can see, yeah, the AWS region is US East 1. So don't change this unless specifically told to do so. ACLs disabled. Should we enable it? I think we can just leave it at that. But ACS stands for Access Control List. They really help you with determining how you can specify access to objects. So sometimes you can make objects public through using ACLs. ACLs are usually even applied in firewalls, but for this case, you're not focusing on that, on security part of things. So I'll just leave it, and you can see you can see under object ownership, select ACLs enables, then verify bucket owner preferred is selected. So I'll enable it. So you can see in this lab, ACL enable needs to be on, and I need to put it as bucket owner preferred. Sorry. Then we go to block all public access. I'll clear it because we are. But in default, in production scenario, and also when you're not dealing with a static website, it's important to just leave it on the way it is. So you can see that is why when you uncheck it, you also need to really acknowledge that you need to have those content in that bucket public because of security concerns, obviously. Okay. Then we can go on. So I've done that. Bucket versioning, I'm not being told anything about it, so I'll just leave it as disabled. But what bucket versioning means is, think of it like how you do your GitHub. You can get another version or another version of the same document set up on a same file on GitHub. So bucket versioning really helps you so that you don't lose the previous version of that file or object. So it can help you have, you can see multiple variants of the object. So scroll to the tags panel. I'll edit and add a tag. So sometimes tagging resources is very important because it really helps you to know, and also it helps with managing, knowing the cost and what the resources belong to who. So, for example, I can see that this resource will belong to the marketing department. So that is the tag. The same way, like when you go to a supermarket and you find you have to have a tag showing the price of that commodity that you want to buy. So I'll click on save changes to save the tag. I think this is going to remain there, so it's fine. I don't need to, there's no part on saving changes. I stay in the properties console. Or I need to choose, or I can create the tags now, you can see, but I'm told to do it later. So let me not do it here. I saw tags here and I just jumped onto it. Sorry. So I'll create the bucket. I'll remove that. Create the bucket first. So I can see I need to create. Choose the name of your new bucket. So I'll choose this because it's called website hyphen with my account ID. So it has been created under properties. So you can see there's different tabs. These are usually called tabs. In AWS, you're going to be seeing these. Usually this side panel here, as well as some tabs. So it's very important to understand how the AWS management console looks like. So when you talk about tabs, there's this objects tab, properties tab, permissions tab, metrics tab, management tab, access points, and also they also have their own different commands or controls inside them. So you can see I've been told to look at the properties tab. So don't start looking for properties here. You can look for it here. And this is what you call the breadcrumb. It helps you to know where you are. For example, I know I'm in Amazon S3, I'm under buckets, and I'm now under the website hyphen my account ID S3 bucket. So I know where I'm currently through this part. So under properties, I'll go to the tags panel. You can see it is here. I'll edit as I've been told, and then I'll add I'm here. So for those who are following, just look, make sure you're looking at what is happening here and what is going on, what is supposed to be done here and what is happening here. Sure. So I'll add a tag. I'll call it the key of the tag. The key is the title. So it's called department. Don't worry when you see other things, it's because I've been doing other labs elsewhere. So value is marketing. Then I'll save changes. You can see that is I was wondering why am I being told to click save changes, and I'm about to just create a bucket. Then stay in the properties console or the properties tab, scroll to static website. So you can see under properties, this bucket overview, bucket versioning, tags, default encryption. Do you want to intelligent tiering? Tiering is all about, for example, you can change the storage classes when you go and run through the classes and also try to understand about the different storage classes. You'll understand what intelligent tiering is all about, but I'm not going to go through it right now. There's also server access login, CloudTrail. You can see when you get this error, it's because the lab are not allowed to look at CloudTrail data event details. So this is normal. Don't worry about this. It's because the lab has been restricted for me to just do what is all about. You can see also object lock. I'm also not having the permission as a test student, and even yourself, you're not going to get it. So you can see static website is usually the last property. So I'll choose edit. So you see here, anytime you see a part, you can see you can edit. So you click on the edit button, and then you'll enable it. Posting type, you can see there's a way you can host a static website where you use the bucket endpoint as the web address, or you can redirect requests to another bucket or another domain. So you're not doing static website hosting to redirect requests. We're doing it to host it on the bucket itself. So you have to specify the index document, which is the default document to be loaded, and also the error document where if there's something that has happened, it goes to that. So so you can see you must enter this value even though it is already displayed. So even though it is already seen here, you will type them. So you have seeing index. So that's a placeholder. So you have to type index.html and then error.html, right? So you need to have these documents. For example, if you don't get it, it's going to show another weird error if you're not going to be having that. So most of the time people just put index, but sometimes it's very good to have a 4 page or an error document, so that people know that they've tried to look for something that is not available on your bucket. Okay. The static choose the link under bucket website endpoint. So I'll save changes. So you can see bucket access endpoint will appear here. You can see once I've enabled it, I get an endpoint. Think of it like www.nation.co.ke or something. So this is what can appear. So I don't know if it's going to open in a new tab. I'm still going to get an error. You can see I'm getting an access denied. Why? The reason I'm getting that is because of permissions have not been configured. So you'll just keep the tab open as we've been told, then you'll upload some content. So I'll download this content, I'll right click. So what you do is you right click and save link as. So let me call it static website content. So let me put it there. I've saved the index.html. For those who you are familiar with website development, you know sometimes you need the HTML file, the JavaScript file for some things there, and also some styling using CSS. So that is why you're having this. But you don't have to be familiar with web development for you to do this lab. All the things have been created for you, so you don't have to know what is going on inside those 3 files. So return to the website, to the S3 console. So I'll return here. I'll go to the objects tab as been told, right? So the objects tab is here. So I'll choose upload. So you can see here. And then I'll choose add files. Remember, you can add a folder or you can add a file. So most of the time, usually if you have the individual files, you just choose on add files. Again, you can drag and drop if I'm not wrong. So where did I put static? It's on S. Did I put it under downloads? I think it was under my downloads. Yes, here it is. So these are the 3 files I want to upload. I will select them all, put them there. So you can see they are ready to be uploaded. If prompted, choose that I acknowledge this. The same things will be overwritten. If I get that prompt, I'll choose upload, then I'll choose close. So remember, sometimes I don't have to go through permissions and properties. I just need to do that and I'll just upload. Do I need to select? Not really. Let me just see. So it is uploading the 3 files. You can see the status. They're not too big, so it's not going to take too long. So it has done. Then I'll click on close. So the other thing in the task is to enable access to the objects. So how do I enable access to the objects? So again, if you can see, even if I have uploaded, you can see they are all here. If I refresh the page, I'm still getting the forbidden. Do you see that? I'm still getting the forbidden. And for those who are even remember, when you're accessing the IBC portal, you would get some of the things like this. If you try to put you try to rewrite the URL so that you try to access something else. So this means that you're also using S3 to store the form. What was the form 34C? I don't know whether it was a C or a B or a A. I think it was a 34A. Anyways, so where are we? So you can see I'm still getting that. So analysis. So what happens is this is an expected response because just making your static website, enabling it doesn't make the objects automatically available. So you have 2 ways of making things public. You can either make the whole bucket public for a specific directory or a specific directory in a bucket public, or use what you call a bucket policy. Or you can also make individual objects in a bucket public using what you call an ACL. So this one is usually quite easy. I usually use the second one. So what I just do is I select them and I go to actions, then I use make public using ACL here. But I think that is the one that we're going to use. You can see return. So you can see it is normally safer to make individual objects public because it avoids accidentally making other objects public. However, if you don't know if you know that the entire object bucket contains no sensitive information, you can use a bucket policy. So, but again, as I've told you, and I can see that is why it is here in the page, you select the objects. So again, I'll repeat. You select the objects here using this top checkbox. Then you go to actions. Then you go to make public via ACL or using ACL, the access control list. When you click on that, you just choose make public. Then it will. So what happens is what happens when you click on this? What is going on is AWS is going to create an access control list for the 3 objects that will make it have public read access. So when public read access is enabled and is not blocked by anyone in the world, you can access the specified object. So remember, even if you do make public by ACL and you haven't unchecked the block all public access, it's not going to really work. So let's make public. On your computer, load the index.html into a text editor, for example, notepad.textedit. Find the text served from Amazon S3 and saved, created by your name, and then save the file. So when I refresh, let me that before you get to updating the website, you're not going to see the forbidden anymore. So do you see AWS static website served from Amazon S3? It's just a simple kind of a site. That is how you host a static website on S3. Let me mute a bit. So sorry about that. I was finishing up with some issues. So where were we? So let me pick up this call. Sorry about that. Sorry about that. So yeah. So that was work related stuff. So okay. First of all, I hope you can hear me and you can still see the screen so that I can go on. Kindly confirm that. Thank you, Crystal. So where were we? We were about to now update the website. So what you're trying to do is just a simple edit. You're trying to remove like served from Amazon S3 and maybe change it to created by cohort 3, if I can call it like that. So I'll open the file. I don't know what you usually use, but I usually use VS Code. Open with VS Code. Whichever you prefer, it's fine. I usually prefer VS Code because it's going to give me some highlights and colors or something. So you can say trusts. So I'm still to look for served from Amazon S3, which is here. And then I can say created by cohort 3. And then I can say AWS Academy static website, maybe just those two changes. So I'll save it. Let's just save that. And then what am I supposed to do? I'll upload. So I'll go to close here. So I'll upload it again. So it might replace. So let's see. It's here. I'm trying to just sort things in a shorter way, but I'm sure it is here. Then I'll upload it. That is going to work. So since I've not enabled versioning, it's going to replace the other one if I'm not wrong. So if I refresh, oh, you can see I'm not getting it. The reason why is once I upload it, this file has not been made public using ACLs. It is not publicly accessible. So I need to again make public. So it is not made public by the default of the other one made. So you can see anything that was failed, no objects failed to be changed. So it means that it all succeeded. So if I refresh, I'm now getting it. You can see AWS. Okay, I added AWS Academy. So I need to remove one. I can say AWS Academy static website created by AWS Cloud Cohort 3. So I can just maybe very fast do that. Maybe I can remove this. Yeah, like that. I save that. Again, I'll repeat the process. It will help those who have not gotten what I've just done. So the file is here, but you can just go to upload. You can drag and drop, which is very easy, or you can just go to where the file is. So I can just go to add files, and here it is. Then it appears. Then I can decide to change the permissions currently there. You can see. And then I can just put it here so that I don't have to go back and do the process again. So under permissions, before I upload, I'll do that, grant public access, and I understand the risk. So once it is uploaded, it will come having already that public access. And you can see, wow, the AWS repetition has been resolved. And you can see that is how you can really do things for your static website. You can add a number of things. So you can even decide to transform it into your portfolio and so do some of the things. So with that, that would mean that I've completed it. Again, you need to submit your work so that the system can mark that you did everything. So I'll do submit here. So it will ask me whether I'm sure. First of all, am I sure that I've done everything? Yeah, I think there's nothing else. So remember that labs, they are deleted once you complete, like the resources, you're not going to find them again. So you need to repeat the whole process. That is where now Academy Learner Labs comes in. It really helps you. So you can see it is now marking, waiting for the report. Where is that report? Should not take too long. Or is it because I did it from the test student anyway? So these are the cloud access, the credentials and everything. So you can see my total scores appear. This is the report. Let me maximize this now. So you can see here, the task of creating a bucket was checking that I did that. The fact that I enabled static website was I did, files were uploaded, I enabled access to the objects. So you can see I got 20 out of 20. So that is how the system marks your labs, your practical labs, just to check. There are usually some checkpoints that the system checks that you did it. Yeah, then you can go to the next module and the next module and do the practical. So that was the CA what? The CA guided lab. So obviously for those doing CA, they now do the challenge lab and do almost the same things. But when you're doing the challenge lab, kindly don't go back to the guided. If you try to do it from your mind and see whether you can understand these things, because as a solutions architect, you're not going to be using guided labs or step-by-step solutions to forecast very customized solution for your clients. So when you're doing the challenge labs, try to do them and try to recreate. If you get stuck somewhere, try to scratch your head further and see how you can do these things. And yeah. So you can see this is a challenge. It will take you 60 minutes. So you'll download the zip. So you create a bucket policy. For example, you can see this is a task. It has a hint. So you can see those challenges really help you. So it's going to, if you're having challenges doing the challenge labs, you can tell me and you can see, we can be asking each other questions during the early morning class. Try to do it and we see how it goes. I think that is it with that. Is any question? Any question? So I think with that, I will, obviously don't forget, did I end the lab? I forgot, did I forget? You need to end the lab once it has been marked. And I think I didn't do it. So let me go back to the guided lab. Once you're done with the lab, end it so that instead of waiting for AWS to end it for you, AWS Academy, that is the system. Yeah. So any question as I end the lab? I think the other session is going to be a bit shorter and I'm just going to tell them to look at the recording because I think this was like a joint class, if I can call it that. So you can see it is still running. I'm being told I have 1 hour, 20 minutes, but for purposes of sustainability and just being not wasteful of resources, I'll end the lab because I'm already done with it. So I click here. So the moment you end the lab, everything that you're doing are deleted. From the buckets are deleted, other resources are terminated, and yeah. So, but if you want to do this in a way that you're building up on each other, we have the Learner Lab, which is going to come at the midpoint of the classes. Well, I'll be only having the ones who I'm very sure are doing this course to the end. So kindly dedicate time. I can be able to check how much time you're spending on the lab. The system can tell me how much time you're spending on your assignments and your modules. So I can be sure if I'm seeing you're only spending 30 minutes in a whole week, I'm sure there's nothing you're doing. You can see that. So you can see, I can see a to-do, I can see some instructions were updated as I was telling you on October 25th, that module 10 challenge lab instruction 17 has been updated to improve clarity. Minor updates made to module 8 challenge lab, step 48, instructions and the limited IAM policy details. So I can be able to see any updates that they done AWS always make sure that they give it as announcements so that we can know. So you can see knowledge checks have been updated in the new template to meet accessibility guidelines. So that is what has been done here. I can see that happened in 27. So you can always get your announcements from there. So that is your cloud architecting course for you. And also that is your cloud foundations course for you. So I don't know if there's somebody who joined later and needs to be onboarded into the cloud foundations. Let me leave the student view. Is there anyone here who joined or maybe just joined us? Anyone? Anyone? Anyone, or forever hold your peace? Okay, this is cloud architecting. Let me go back to anyone who has not been onboarded. I hope you have all received your emails. Is there anyone who has not been onboarded? Muliro, I don't think I've onboarded you. Have you been onboarded? Yes, yes, you can unmute Muliro and ask what you want to ask.
No, I'm not asking anything.
Okay.
I'm just saying that I've not been onboarded. I actually joined late, and I wish to, yeah.
You're doing cloud foundations, right?
Not really.
Which course are you starting? Have you done any AWS course before?
No.
Okay, so I think you're doing cloud foundations. So so I think I'll onboard you here. Maybe you can share your email on the chat, then I'll add you.
Okay.
Yeah, then I add you, then I think I'll call it. You can see two of us haven't confirmed. Maybe you can go on and start accessing your course. That is Jennifer and Sami Kiprop. I can see all the others I think you've accessed. I can see some of you have been there for quite a while. I can see Christopher's already been there for quite like almost an hour. I can see somebody's here. John has just joined, accessed it. I can see, yeah, I can see Alvin has also been accessing the platform. So remember, you get all the modules. Don't go at my pace. You can finish all the 10 modules if you want. If you are full-time learning, you can finish them in 2 weeks, and you just join the classes to ask questions or make it better. Or you can even come and help me run one of the labs if you did it so well and it was so easy for you. I usually give some of the best an opportunity to practice their skills and to see how they can even work on other aspects of their learning, like presentation skills and everything. So so don't be limited by the maybe. So Muliro, is your name Muliro, or maybe you have another name?
It is Muliro.
Okay, so let me just put that. Okay, so you should receive an email shortly. Then you're going to accept, then you're going to access. So in case you missed how I was taking people through the platform, I've also given a WhatsApp group. I don't know whether I can share it. There's a WhatsApp group I've put for people to just join in so that we can have instantaneous kind of an interaction. So I've posted it on the chat. Yeah, kindly join it so that it is easy. That is where I'll also, I think it's important, I also post the streaming link. Okay. So, yep. So I think I'm not going to do another session, but I'm going to see. I'm not sure about any others joining because I can see it's almost 9:30. And I think we're still all of us who joined as early as 7:30. So I'm going to check on whether if there's not going to be others, I think I'm just going to share the recording onto the 76 or so people who registered for the information session. So I think I'll do that right now. Then I finish up with that. Where was the calendar? My calendar was where? It is here. Don't check my other calendars. Okay, so I think I'll add. Where do I add it? I think session 1, YouTube link. YouTube link is Muliro's email. Where's the link? It is somewhere here. Let me post it on my chat so that I can get it from there. So there it is. There won't be another session today. I think I'm on YouTube above, WhatsApp, and I think I also need to add the WhatsApp group. Oh, what am I writing? Group. Where's that link now? Yeah, so it just help us to be getting communication instantaneously and everything. I think that is that. Yeah. On 29/10/2022 and follow it to. Okay, I think I've done that. I will save it. And then I'll see for all events. I hope all the participants are going to get. Check updates under description. So is there anyone here who doesn't have the calendar invite? It usually helps you so that you don't forget. Is there anyone here who is not in this calendar? Is there anyone? You can just say. William, you say not yet received the email. Just check your spam or something. You must have already gotten it. Or did I write it? Type your full name, a full email. Maybe I typed it wrongly. Okay, let me refresh this. And please ensure you get onboarded. Sami, if you are here, it's an easy thing. Kindly make sure I don't want to leave people pending here. Sami, Muliro, Jennifer, kindly make sure you do it right, like right now. Get onto the system so that I can be sure that you're there. I don't leave people pending. If you stay pending up until next week, you might find I've removed you from the course. So let me look at the cloud architecting that really is saying is not there. Really, I can see a random pending. So just check your email. And see whether it's really Gishohi at Gmail. Just confirm, just confirm. Can resend you an invitation. Same case for, I think, Oliver, make sure you check. Just resend you the invitation. Okay, the other thing that I would like to share with you, it's the AWS Cloud Quest. For all those doing Cloud Foundations, or maybe if you have done Cloud Foundations and you haven't, or the CCP and you haven't done the Cloud Quest, kindly register for it and complete it. It's a very nice interactive role-playing game where you learn about some of the things and it can really help you. I'm really tempted to subscribe so that I can do all the other Cloud Quests for the other rather than just practitioner. But I'm really wondering how. No, we usually don't like spending money on these things, but so you can try the practitioner. So for other additional roles, you have to subscribe to the AWS Skill Builder. So when you say try Cloud Practitioner, you're going to be required to create an account on AWS Skill Builder. So yeah, but I'm going to subscribe. I think I need these other additional roles, and also getting the badges for them would be something good for me. So you can see you're going to get these, and then you can see a video. I think there's going to be a video to show you're going to earn a verifiable digital badge. So you can come and watch this video, not run the video right now. Then just enroll, and then you're going to get access. I don't think I can enroll because I finished it. So just you can sign into Skill Builder. I think you usually use, I don't know how to use your Amazon account. If you have an Amazon, for example, personally, I usually use login with Amazon. So if you don't have an Amazon account, I think you're going to create one. Do I remember my Amazon account details? So if you don't have an account, you just come here and create your Amazon account. I think my password manager is on the other side, not on this profile. So let me see whether it's going to work out or not. Yeah, you can see my password manager is working from this side. Yeah. I think I chose Cloud Quest. So don't worry, if you see me looking on this other side, it's because my second screen is on this side. So how many of you here have done Cloud Quest before and have finished it? Maybe I think William has done it. Who else has done Cloud Quest and finished, not just starting out and biting and leaving it? Is there anyone? Really, you did it, right? Nice. Yeah, I think William, I know you did it. I think we also got some, I think there was a time they were running a promotion. When you finish, I think you're going to get access to some practice questions that you can use to revise for your CCP. I don't know whether they are running any kind of promotion for finishing the Cloud Practitioner. The Cloud Practitioner role on AWS Cloud Quest. There are other roles. There's the security, there's the solution architect. Yeah, so let it load. So Skill Builder is a very good place, a good companion to your AWS Academy, but kindly don't confuse yourself. don't try to do so many things. AWS can be quite daunting. So you can see I completed it. Yes, you can look at the trailer, system requirements, you can play the description. So when you finish, you usually get a badge for it. There are other courses. I have so many courses that I've registered for, but I haven't completed them here. But I usually try. You can see I have, and there are some that I haven't started yet. I've completed this one. I'm working on the well-architected one. I think these are pre-training. There are ones that I've just put here so that I'll start them. These open up. I think these, don't know that this one was opened up. You can see it is even disabled. I'm not even able to access it yet. Yep. So yeah. So Skill Builder is also another good place to do your part of your training. And these are some of the courses I would like to do later on. Okay. So when you open Cloud Quest, for example, you can see here is Cloud Quest. It's like a gamified way of doing things. You can click on Start Learning now. Then it's going to launch a game. So you choose the first one. This one you can play. Yeah, you can click on Start now. So you get it loads an interface. Okay, what have I just done? So it loads a certain interface like this one. And then it's going to check my login and allow, I need to allow something if I'm not wrong. And then even if you're done, you can review and try to look on what it's like a game, but it's not a game because you are actually learning as you play the source. So it's a good one. A good one. That's being said, I think it's loading like forever. I don't know if it's on this side or on this side. It usually takes a bit of time to load the resources because it's like a gamified kind of a version of things. I hope you've received updates on the calendar. I hope all of you who are having the calendar invite, you've received something on it. Have you received? Can you confirm if you have received the calendar update? And whether it's showing on your side so that I know you're good. The other thing is as you study, you can look at the Cloud Practitioner certification and the exam guide and the ramp up guides, AWS Cloud Practitioner. I don't know that my network is doing things on me. I reviewed that the resources are so many. Let me just unload these. You're going to check on it by yourself. Let me close that. And also close. So you can just check on the Cloud Practitioner certification. Just look at it. It's here. It's the only foundational exam that is there, a certification exam in AWS. But it is a very good starting point. So you can always come here as you prepare, look at the exam guide, some of the sample questions. Don't forget the AWS white papers, very important. Just go through them. There's usually some white papers on the well-architected framework. There's some white papers on how AWS Academy pricing works. You can compare some of the support plans, especially support plans usually appears in the exam, getting to know the difference between the personal, the developer, the business, the enterprise. Some of the overview of the services, all the services usually here. And all these are free. You can see these are free. The white papers are free. some trainings, I think Power Hour, and also the digital training. You can see all these are free. But this one you can do it after you are done with your Cloud Academy. And then there are some which are subscription, you can see. But I think Cloud Quest, have they converted? I think this one is still free for Cloud Practitioner. And then Exam Review, which all of these are free. There's usually some webinars on exam readiness. Live webinars run by solutions architect from AWS. So you can just click on that card. Then usually some can just look for the virtual ones or even the on-demands and just check in the right language and usually get there. So this link is usually very resourceful with regards to your learning. So let me post it here on the chat. So I think with that, is there any? Because I think I'm not going to be running. Let me reshare the other links. Let me also reshare the YouTube link. Let me also reshare the WhatsApp group link. Let me also reshare the Solutions Architect link. Which other thing did I share before? Yeah, as well as the login link, which you're going to be using when you need to be onboarded. I can see Maureen have just joined. I've just onboarded people onto the platform. So I think I will see whether I can onboard you very fast, or am I logged out? I don't know. I think, am I logged out? I don't know what's happening to my resources. Yeah, but I'll check and add. Yeah, I'll add those who have not been added maybe a bit later, maybe once. So make sure you join the WhatsApp group that I've reshared, the WhatsApp group there. And I think I'll be waiting so that I'll onboard the others in bulk so that I don't do it one by one. It's sometimes inefficient to do so. But I can think since it has loaded for the purposes of somebody who has joined. Is there anybody who has just again also joined and was not been added? Okay, it has already started doing its own kind of thing. Or am I, what have I opened that is causing me these issues? Because I have a lot of tabs, I like have 100 tabs open. But so let me go to the course. Maybe Maureen, you can share your email on the chat so that it makes life easy for me. So it was, I think, was it Nyingi Maureen or something? I don't know. It has a number somewhere, right? You can post it very fast so that we can end this session. Or you can even just unmute and tell me. Maureen Wanjiku, can tell us your email very fast so that I can add you. Hope everyone else has been added. Anyone very fast? I hope, and please don't come to this session and go on mute and leave the session. Trust me, I'll be kicking out people. If I call on you and maybe you're not responding, I'm sure maybe you've you've logged in and put your phone somewhere. My live sessions are not for watching. They are not for that. It's better you just wait for YouTube or something. So, Maureen, are you still here? Have you posted your email on the chat? Okay, I'll not enroll you. And I think I'll session late. Then we'll look for each other later. So that said, I think I can call it a session. I'm also quite tired. Not tired at looking at screens and on looking at through the light. So I think we can leave it at that. Unless there's really anything that is bugging. Don't forget to look through this document. Where's this document? This is the outline of the course. So I usually see some people, a lot of people actually tell you, add me to the course, add me to the course, but then they don't have time to make for the course. So remember, this outline is not for distribution, so I can't distribute it. I can't share it with you. So it's confidential, but remember that you're going to go through all these modules, and remember the amount of time you need to take. I think it's usually written in a table somewhere. Yeah, you can see it is here, this table. The lecture time it takes, the time it takes to do an activity or a lab or a demo, the time also it can take to do a knowledge check. So be conscious of these minutes, this number of minutes, and also this number of hours, and spend. You can see you need 20. To divide 20 hours divide by 5 weeks, you get 4. Then you add the 2 hours you're going to be there for the live classes. So you need to at least have 6 hours in a week, which is quite little compared to other courses. So, but for, I think, SA it is more. SAA, I think you need to do how many hours? Is it? For SAA, you have a lot more to do. A lot more to do. You can see it is double 40 hours. So 40 hours divided by 5 is what? 8 hours plus 2 hours in a class. So you need to dedicate at least 10 hours if you want to complete it in 5 weeks. And this is when it's delivered synchronously. When you do it self-paced, it becomes even more. So you can see over a period of at least 6 weeks, but but we can't do 6 weeks. It's going to be crazy. So that's it. That's it. Let's stop my share. And then I think see me when I see you. Unless there's any question, I think we can leave it at that. Thank you so much for coming through, and I hope you really enjoyed the session, right? Nice. Let me stop the live stream.